Answer is 26. Answer on this one should be 28. Answer on this one should be 48. Take another one. Answer should be 296. Take two more for a bonus. Answer on this one should be 8. Pick a number from 1 to 10 and drop it off up here. The winning number today, 6 and 6. Double sixes, so if you have 6, then you get 20 million. Time for the homework check. That would be the problems from yesterday. If you have those, then bring them on up now. -8, -6, and 162. If you have all three of them, come and get it. 17, -5, and 2. 36, 164. 35, 7, and 121. 0, 328, and -6. Any questions about the homework? Alright, put in the 1 here, and you're going to end up with -3 times the quantity squared of 3 times 1 minus 2, close the quantity, and then minus 3 times 1. Inside the parentheses, that's 3 minus 2. Outside, that's simply minus 3. Inside the parentheses, you have a 1, which you're going to square, and that stays as 1. So that would be -3 times 1, which is a -3, minus 3, should end up being a -6. Was that not what was on the screen? It's probably a mistake. So if you had that and it would have made you another one, you can come and get another million. Anybody else have any more questions about the homework? Okay, so you should start with -2 times the quantity squared of 3 minus 4, close the quantity, and then minus 4. So inside the parentheses, that's a -1. -1 squared is +1. -2 times 1 is -2, and then minus 4 should be a -6. Today's objective is to evaluate functions. And the learning target is I can evaluate composite functions and find an inverse function as well. Example number 1. You have two functions given to you, a of x and b of x. And what you must find is a of b of 2. And in this case, you must start inside first. Go completely inside to the innermost set of parentheses, which would be b of 2. And put 2 in for everywhere you see an x in the b function. So it would be b of 2 equals 4 times 2, and then plus 2. 8 plus 2 gives you an answer of 10, but that's not the final answer because that represents what's right here. What you must do with that 10 is now treat it as a of 10. Put it in here in the a function for x to get 3 times 10, and then minus 1. 30 minus 1 is 29. 29 is the final answer, not 10. You don't have two answers for this, you only have one, and that is 29. Here's another example. C and D functions, and you must find C of D of -1. So first you must start with the D of -1. D of -1 is 2 times -1 minus 1, which is -2 minus 1, and that is -3, but that's not your final answer. You must now treat that as C of -3 from right here. So 3 times negative 3 squared is 3 times 9. And the answer is 27. You don't have two answers, you just have one, which is the final answer. Again, in review, you start in the innermost set of parentheses with that function and get an answer for that, which is this, negative 3. And then you treat that as c of negative 3, like we did here, plugging in negative 3 for x in the c function, evaluate, and get the final answer. Try this problem. We'll see how many gets it right on the first try. Practice number 1. For the practice problem, you're going to start with e of 3. So e of 3 would have to be 6 times 3 plus 5. 6 times 3 plus 5, that's going to be 18 plus 5, which is 23. This is not the final answer. It only represents this. So now you need f of 23, which is negative 3 times 23 minus 2. Negative 3 times 23 is negative 69 minus 2, which is negative 71. This is the final answer. Bonus problem number 1. On the bonus problem, it should be a of negative 3 equals 6 times negative 3 squared minus 2 times negative 3, and that's 6 times 9 plus 6. 54 plus 6 is 60. Here is practice problem number 2. On the practice problem, you have to do this first, the inside function first, which is f of negative 1. F of negative 1 is 2 times negative 1 plus 2. That's negative 2 plus 2, which is 0. But that only represents this part here. You must use that 0 with the g function now. Work your way out. So now it's going to be 0. 0 squared minus 2 times 0 plus 1. That's 0 minus 0 plus 1, which is simply 1. 1 is the final answer. Bonus problem number 2. On the bonus problem, it should be f of 4 equals 4 times 4 squared minus 3 times 4 and then plus 5. That's 4 times 16 minus 12 plus 5. 64 minus 12 plus 5. And that comes out to be 52 plus 5, which is 57. Example problem number 3. Alright, on this one, it's a little different in that you have a fraction, but you still do it the same way. You start here first, the innermost function, which is f of 2, and then you're going to end up with 2 plus 2 over 4, which is 4 over 4. The answer is 1. That's from the inside. Now we take that to the g function, g of 1, 3 times 1 minus 1. 3 minus 1 equals 2, and this is the final answer. Example number 4. This one you have a variable underneath on the denominator of a fraction, but it's no different. You still start with f of 5. So f of 5 is 10 over 5 plus 2, which is 2 plus 2, and the answer is 4. If you only get the problem written down for your notes, that's fine. As long as you watch the example on the screen, you can always go back and get these later, whether you work them out on your own or if you go back and watch the videos. So 4 now goes to the g function. G of 4 equals 4 squared minus 3. So 16 minus 3 is 13. That is the final answer. Practice number 3. For the practice problem, f of 6 is going to be 2 times 6 plus 4 over 8, which is 12 plus 4, and that'll give me a 16 over 8, which is 2. Now 2 comes from this. You must now associate it with the g function. G of 2 is 2 times 2 squared minus 3 times 2. So 2 times 4 minus 6 is 8 minus 6. So again, the answer is 2. Bonus problem number 3.
Say 2.
Yeah, 2. Answer on the bonus problem should have been a negative 33. Practice problem number 4. On the practice problem, a of 8. Awful looking 8. A of 8 equals 8 plus 8 over 8 minus 4. So that's 16 over 4, which is 4. You must use that. This came from this, and you must use that to go back to the b function now. So b of 4 is 2 times 4, which is 8. Add that to 5 to get 13. Bonus problem number 4. C of negative 2 on the bonus, that should be negative 2 cubed plus 2 times negative 2 squared minus a negative 2 and then plus 3. That's a negative 8 plus 2 times 4 plus 2 plus 3. And negative 8 plus 8 is going to cancel out to be a 0, and then you're just left with 2 plus 3, which is 5.